Welcome to ProjectME the Podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multi-millionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME the Podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. You are listening to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, and this is episode number 28, how to increase your sales immediately. Well, really, is there any other way that we would want to increase sales other than immediately? I don't think so. So one of my areas of expertise is sales, and sales in general, but specifically using my emotional-based selling techniques that have helped generate more than $100 million worth of sales for both my own companies and for clients ranging from Fortune 500 clients, Fortune 100, and even startups. So sales is sales. There's basic principles, and then there's also areas of refinement. Most of the time, meaning like 99.9% of the time, when someone hires me to basically say, you know, why are my sales not where I want them to be? Or why isn't this selling? Why isn't my course selling? Why isn't my product selling? It's not selling enough. You know, what am I missing here? Well, you know, first off, the great first step is hiring someone who's highly qualified to look at that, because we can't always see what we're doing wrong, so to speak, or what we're missing when we're in the quicksand. We just can't. We have too much going on in our head. We've looked and stared at the same sales copy, the same computer screen for so many hours. Our eyes are crossed. You need a fresh set of eyes on it. And this is something that, you know, the best of the best companies out there do. Often, and in fact, most always, big companies ranging from pharmaceutical, oil companies, advertising firms, lifestyle companies, they will hire, even though they have an amazing, robust marketing team and digital marketing team, they will often bring in a consultant multiple times a year as a fresh pair of eyes to look over their processes, their copy, what they're doing, what they could be missing. Because when you like eat, sleep, breathe it every day, you miss things. It's just human nature. And in fact, we are humans. We forget sometimes that we're not machines, but we're not. And so I do that a lot with companies. They bring me on as a consultant. Sometimes I'm, you know, on a regular monthly retainer to oversee, you know, practices and campaigns. And sometimes I'm brought in, you know, 4 times a year or a couple times a year to just look over the whole process and say, okay, you guys could use some refining over here. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? It's a really strong practice to do in your own business, regardless of what size it is. But I want to give you some key things that you can implement right away after listening to this podcast that will for sure impact your sales immediately. I can't obviously control how much effort you put into it on your side or what, you know, money mindset blocks you might have. But if you implement them in the way that I would, your sales will for sure be impacted in a positive way. The first thing is know thy customer. And it's like, okay, Tiff, I've heard that before. You have to know your ideal customer, your avatar, whatever fancy word people are calling it. Well, there's a reason why so many people are saying that, is because it's that important and that many people gloss over it. So yes, you do need to know your customer for whatever it is. Oftentimes, right, our ideal customer can change and vary a little bit based on our product, right? It can change based on our product line, whether you have a tangible product, you know, you have a jewelry line that's more for a younger demographic, and you have a jewelry line that's more for, you know, a middle-aged woman demographic. Or if you're someone who is doing digital products or you're a coach, you have different things based on different places people are at in their business. They're at different points of revenue. Therefore, they have different needs. Are they a startup? Are they at $10,000 a month? Are they into seven figures? So you'll have different customers for different products and services you're selling. So you need to make sure that you're not using a one size fits all. So that person who's buying an ebook from you for $9.95, meaning $9.95 US, that is not the same client, okay, as someone that you are selling a $2,500 robust course to. I'm not saying there isn't crossover, but that's a much longer path. So you need to just keep that in mind. So know thy customer. What helps me is naming the person, actually picturing them. And sometimes I'll even go through, when I'm going through magazines or something like that, or if there's a certain person I have in mind, a celebrity lookalike that client just embodies, I'll even cut out a picture, put in Sharpie the person's name over it, and have it on, either my whiteboard or, tape it on my computer screen so I can have that ideal customer in top of mind. And then when I am writing sales copy, or when someone on my team is being assigned to writing sales copy for that ideal customer, I have them take that person, that picture, you get an idea of who you're talking to. We picture them as though we're out to coffee and we're sitting across and having a coffee together. And what would we be talking about with that person? What would they be telling us about, their struggles in their life, their needs? What would we say back? And we kind of brainstorm this. We don't get caught in this for weeks or weeks. It's literally, this can be even a 1 hour process. And you can do it with someone in your life who might be an ideal customer, perhaps a cousin or a friend, and you can kind of pick their brain. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can just brainstorm it with yourself. It's always better to kind of get the pulse of what's going on in the mind of your ideal customer. Oftentimes, we are our own ideal customer. We create products that we wish existed when we were new in business, or we wish they existed 3 years ago, but they didn't. So we had to become an expert in X, Y, and Z. So that also makes it easier. You need to go back to your frustrations and what was overwhelming to you, and jot all these things down so you have that. So that's number one. Number two, and probably the most impactful one, is selling through problems, right? Selling someone based on problems and pain points rather than just features and benefits. I mean, features and benefits, okay, that's nice, right? But we don't buy a car or lease a car just on the features and benefits of a car. Even someone who's really into, how fast does a car go 0 to 60 or something like that. Even those people, they don't buy a car just because of that. There is, and it's not just the looks either. It's how the car makes you feel. How does it make you feel when you drive it? What do you think people perceive about you when you drive it? What is that UE, user experience? Okay, I'm just giving a car as an example, but you need to look at and sell based on someone's problems. Someone has XYZ problems, and you have ABC solutions to address their problems and therefore make their life easier, more manageable, less stressful. Maybe you are in, the health sector. If you're in the health sector, oh my God, there's a ton of pain points. So what is someone's problem and what is your solution to it? That's what you need to be selling on, not focusing so much on, I will, speak to you live 3 times a week, one-on-one, or there are 25 videos and you get 42, free printables or something like that. Okay, that's nice. That can be included later on, but that is not going to be why someone buys. It's just not. That can be in the description of what they get so people understand what they're getting. But that's not going to be why someone keeps reading down on a sales page and gets further and further engaged. They want to know that you understand them and that you understand them to the point where you have a solution for those areas that they are really seeking relief for, and that you really get them. Because why the hell else would they buy from you? And then when you go further down, you can add in, what do you get with this? You get this, this, and this. But it's really, first and foremost, you have this problem, I offer this solution. You have this other problem, I offer this solution in this. You offer this other problem, I have the solution for you in a concise way, in an efficient way, in a way that it's digestible and you can understand, and what your life will look like after that problem is solved. Okay. And, a good example of it, and, there's a lot of weight loss ads and things like that I don't appreciate, because they can almost take advantage of people's pain points. But there is a good side of it to look at, right? Whether it's Weight Watchers or one of those, they're showing you what it will be like once that pain is relieved. So what would it look like if your ideal customer's pain point you're targeting is relieved? Will they be less strapped for cash? Will they stop living paycheck to paycheck? Can they quit their corporate job? Are they going to be able to fit in those jeans that they bought 5 years ago that they've tried everything and no matter what, and they've not been able to slip them on? Are they going to feel more confident in their own skin? Are they gonna, whatever it is their hair going to get thicker and their skin get clearer? Whatever it is, you have to go further than we solve a problem. It's also, okay, imagine if you didn't have to worry about XYZ. I can give you a quick example, okay? I'm an expert in Facebook advertising. I've been involved with Facebook advertising literally since the beginning, like even from the beta stages. So therefore, it is not intimidating or too cumbersome for me. I totally get that it is not an easy platform to understand. It's not even pretty to look at. I have no idea why they make it so cumbersome. They'd have a lot more advertisers. However, Zuckerberg didn't ask me. So it is not intimidating to me, right? But I'm not a high techie person. But if you asked me to create a website for you, not happening. That sounds crazy crackers to me, which a lot of people would say, well, Tiffany, that's actually a lot easier than nailing Facebook ads. Maybe. That's why we all have different areas of expertise. So since that's my area and I know Facebook ads to my ideal customer is stressful, it's overwhelming, it makes their eyes cross, they don't even know where to begin. It's scary to push a button where you're going to be paying money for something you really have no idea what the hell you're doing or if it's going to work. And how much do you even spend? And there's leaves you with so many questions, what to click on, nothing makes sense. What if it doesn't work? And then the flip side is, well, I can teach you the basics of Facebook advertising. We can start out with the basics so that you can feel comfortable in initiating some low budget ad campaigns for yourself and take the guesswork out of it and literally be hand walked through it and have a recorded video so you can go back and replay it anytime in case you forget something, and take the intimidation factor out of it and take all the stress and guesswork out of it. Well, how would my ideal customer feel having that off their plate? A huge weight is lifted. There's more confidence. I can see the light now. I could see how I could gain more leads and generate more money now because it seemed like it was such a roadblock before because it was something so intimidating, and now it's not. And now we've turned the ads on and I'm seeing sales come in, and it's coming in while I'm sleeping at night, and what that means to me to wake up in the morning to sales. So you see what I'm saying? You go further. It's like, what is that person's life or day? How is it impacted with that problem removed from their life or drastically reduced? So I want you to brainstorm on all of that. And you're probably having things pop up in your head right now when you're listening to this. And so, hop on over to your notes app or grab a Post-it or something like that and jot this stuff down. Ideas come at the weirdest time. So it's like, I always make sure I have somewhere to like write or type something down. Okay. And so the third thing I want to give you today is another key area where I see clients make this mistake. And I totally get why, but it doesn't work. And it's you need to have only one call to action. Okay. And you'll hear a lot of people throw out the term CTA, it means call to action. So you just need to have one wherever you send them. Not, here's the call to action, but if you're not ready for this, you can have this. And if you're not ready for this, you can have that. It's okay to have upsells and stuff in there or add-ons, but it needs to be one call to action. People like being told what to do. Even if they say they don't, people like being told what to do. There's way too much information going out there. All of us have to make a gazillion decisions in a day. And we just want to know, what is the thing? Are you telling me to give my name and email to learn this on a webinar? Are you inviting me to a free challenge? Are you inviting me to a free ebook? What do I have to do to get? I have to click to get the book. Then the next step, once they have the book and you're delivering it to them, whether it's immediate access, email, or whatever, now you can have another call to action. They find that valuable and they want to get to the next level faster. They want their problem solved much faster. They want more help, go through all of the, the pain points and the solutions. Then your one call to action, not like all the courses you have, all the books, all the whatever. You just pick one and you offer them that one. I know the temptation is, but I have like 5 different courses. And what if the main one I have that's like $1,900, that's too much for them and I don't want to lose them. I'd rather them like buy my $25 course. So at least they're buying something. Well, then no. One thing. It gets way too complicated. So you need to decide what that one thing is. You're sending people to whatever free thing you're offering. A lot of people like using the word freemium. You're sending them to your free thing, and whatever that free thing is tied to, okay, that you're wanting to sell and push, whatever your launch is, whatever course it is, whether it's $17, $1,700, $4,700, whatever it is, it's one thing. You can do an add-on you can always do an add-on when someone goes to click on and they're putting in their info to buy, let's say you're driving people to, a $1,500 course. And you drive them to that course, and you can always have, an add-on on the bottom, just like they do at the grocery store when you go to checkout and there's gum and candy and all sorts of shit right there. That's like an actual in real life add-on, right? They do that at, the line at TJ Maxx. There's like amazing shit in that line, because I need another pair of fuzzy socks or a coffee mug, but you're standing there. That's that. They're getting you in real life on an add-on. So you can do an add-on to, let's say, that course, and it could be, you have for $27 you get my top 2 sales scripts, or you can buy the accompanying journal to this course or something like that. That's when you can add a little something, but that's not your main call to action. You need to set up a full separate sales funnel, a full separate promotional push and campaign per call to action. So what are you selling? I'm selling course A. I'm going to focus on course A for, January, February. Okay. Then for March, April, we're going to focus on the ebook. And then June, July. So you need to have it mapped out and it needs to be separated. If you're a very sophisticated company where you are much further down the road and you have a solid team and you want to target different demographics for your different items and have multiple funnels and ads, go for it. That's awesome. I work with a lot of companies who do that. However, unless you're at that point where you have that team that's sophisticated in managing all of that, don't do that to yourself. It won't work. They can do it because they have the man/woman power. But when you're just starting, or in my opinion, you're anything under $500,000 a year, no, way too stressful, and you'll end up hating what you do, and that's not why you're doing it. You have to wait till you get to a point, unless, of course, you have, incredible free help, which most of us don't have. You have to wait till you get to a point where you can hire those people who really know that stuff, because otherwise that's just too much. So I hope that you guys take away this information today and start implementing it in your business. At the very least, start brainstorming that ideal customer for that one thing that you're selling. Not all your things, your one thing. And of course, any questions that you guys have, come visit me over on Instagram. It's at ProjectME _with _Tiffany. But if you probably type in ProjectME, I will come up right away. You can always DM me. I do have a social media team, but I answer all my DM questions, especially from my podcast. And I love answering and helping you guys with your businesses. And as always, I'm wishing you great health, wealth, and worth. I will talk to you soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.